Hello everybody, Ray Garner with Garner's Games, here to do our weekly comic review. This week, we're bringing on the bad guys. Doom, number 1. The books are Marvel Comics, of course, and it's written by Marc, I hope I get this name correct, Guggenheim? I'm not really sure. It's Guggenheim. And our artist is Stefano, Raffaele, I think that's pronounced. I'm getting it right. Anyway, this book starts off with a little bit of background about a guy pretty much everybody's familiar with, Dr. Doom. I do want to compliment our artist here. Tess is just a great Doom sitting on his throne picture. And he is approached by one of his lesser spies, his words, who bring forth proof that this lady is after the soul dagger. Which seems important to him because this gal is kind of mysterious and figured Doom wants to know about it, and Doom does. Doom is not unpleased. And he wants to go find the mystery woman. Well, the mystery woman is in Paris, meeting the Abomination for the very same dagger. And he asks, does this get me off the hook with your boss? And she said, oh, your debt, you've done well. Your debt is considered paid. And Doom points out that he's just kind of standing over there with a simple cloaking spell. Which, of course, she easily sees through. Now, we have this cool little bit of inner monologue between each of them. Hers being in red, his being in green. And she, of course, is Sister Sorrow. And he gives us a long background of the 6 wizards that were involved in making a deal called the Soul Forge. And after they get it done and they all feed it with their blood, they get it activated. And then we cut back to him no longer necessarily monologuing, but fighting her. And each are impressed because they're both formidable foes. Then we flash back once again to the background scene. Telling us about the Soul Forge and how, in the disguise of Lucifus, I think that's how it's pronounced, Mephisto betrayed all the other people, and as he seized the Soul Forge after killing everybody, it lost all its power. And he basically found out that without the blood of the lineage of each of those sorcerers, that it wouldn't work. So he had to bide his time and wait. And there's 5 daggers out in the world. Each one of them apparently is for a specific person who is the descendant of one of the original 5 wizards. Well, the fight between Sister Sorrow and Doom starts going Doom's way. And she uses her magic as he's starting to get the upper hand to cast a spell to teleport herself away. And then recovers herself enough to cast another spell to send herself home. And that's actually some really cool artwork. Yeah. Nice little compliments there. And she presents the dagger to Mephisto, who refers to her as his figurative daughter. She wants to know what it's all about. I like his lines like, I don't recall possessing a need to explain myself, child. But of course, he can't stand himself, and he immediately does. explains that once each dagger has served its purpose and repowered the Soul Forge, that it will give him dominion over all the souls in hell and on earth. As to be continued in Bring On the Bad Guys, Green Goblin #1. So, it's an interesting story idea. It's basically Mephisto being a major problem enough that Doom and apparently other villains are going to have to try to interfere with his plans, and of course, probably trying to get it for themselves. It's a straightforward concept. The art's really well done in this book, and it's going to be a pseudo major story arc, at least for the summer event, as we've really been beating that horse since the 90s at Marvel Comics, and we're going to keep beating it until it dies, and probably going to beat it again even once it's dead a few times. But this one at least seems somewhat interesting. It's got a little different perspective, focusing on the villains, fighting a villain. So, enemy of my enemy type situation. Doom is handled very well. Sister Sorrow's character I'm barely familiar with. She seems to be handled pretty well. I like Mephisto on being the main problem. So, like I said, art's really good. Story's fairly solid. Concept's decent. It's another event to follow up with another event that we just had another event on. So we're getting a little evented out myself. But, if you like events, this one's going to be one of the better ones, I think. So check it out. And I'll see you next week. And remember, Doom above all.